Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the noon news from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon. We're so glad you could join us before you head out for your holiday weekend. I'm Aja Goare. Our top story today, hours after Congress reached an agreement that temporarily avoids a government shutdown, President Trump takes off for his vacation in Florida. The president celebrated a major victory today with the signing of a plan that overhauls America's tax policy. CBS's Aja Zhang has the story.
President Trump signed a $1.5 trillion tax bill into law this morning before leaving for his Florida home for the holidays.
I was going to wait for a formal signing sometime in early January, but then I watched the news this morning and they were all saying, will he keep his promise? Will he sign it by Christmas?
The president tweeted that the recently passed tax reform bill is already paying off, with companies handing out bonuses to workers, and ending the tweet with a cheery Merry Christmas at the end. Congress passed the bill this week and then approved a stopgap spending bill last night that funds the government through January 19th.
This has been a year of extraordinary accomplishment by any objective standard.
Despite all the celebrating among President Trump and Republican leaders, there is still plenty of work to do when they get back to town in January.
It is wrong. Indeed, it's maddening.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz took to the floor to express frustration after an $81 billion package to help those impacted by natural disasters stalled in the Senate.
I'm sorry to say that the United States Senate is now leaving town without delivering on its commitment to help Texas, to help Florida, and to help Puerto Rico recover.
Also on the agenda for next year, a $1 trillion infrastructure bill to fix America's roads and bridges. President Trump is promising to work with Democrats to get it passed. Aja Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
The White House plans to unveil the president's vision for infrastructure early next month. We turn now to a weather scene with Brett, and if you thought it was cold now, well, you've got some bad news for us.
Well, I do have some bad news. We've already seen temperatures peak for the day, and temperatures continue to drop across the state right now. Let's take a look at our satellite radar mix and show you current temperatures. 11 degrees in Worland. They were very, very chilly this morning, but those temperatures will continue to drop throughout this afternoon. 8 degrees right now in Lewistown. We've got the warmest reading right now in Missoula, 25. They're down from 26 from last hour. 15 in Miles City. Billings at 13, 16 in Glasgow and Williston, and currently 19 degrees in Bozeman. And like I said, those temperatures have already peaked for the day and will continue to drop. It is got some very chilly air to talk about, not only for today, but for the long term to come. We'll have that with your complete forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Brett. We'll check back in. A Wyola woman now faces federal charges for the murder of a man in November of 2016. 39-year-old Vernell Badbear is charged in U.S. District Court in Billings with second-degree murder for the death of 38-year-old Freeman Benz. Badbear was charged with the murder in tribal court days after the crime, but it took a year for the case to be filed in federal court. Ben's body was found near the highway in Bighorn County. The coroner would not comment on how long Benz had been dead before his body was found or how he died. Badbear's Facebook page shows her and Benz together with children, but their relationship is unclear. Badbear is in federal custody. Spokane police are still searching for the person responsible for the murder of a Butte woman. MTN's John Amy spoke with the victim's family about her death.
A family in Butte is dealing with the violent murder of a family member Tuesday evening in Spokane, Washington. 59-year-old Danette Kane was shot to death outside her family-owned apartment complex. Now, I spoke with her brother-in-law, Jim Kilmer, today, who learned some information about this tragedy. He said the suspect stopped at the apartment complex and asked Danette Kane if there were any rooms to rent. She said there were none. The suspect then went to the manager's apartment and asked the same question, and she was denied. Kilmer, who is a former Butte police officer, said he learned the suspect remained in the parking lot of the apartment complex, and when the manager went out to speak with her, the suspect shot and wounded him. That's when Danette ran out to the parking lot to try to help and was fatally shot.
She didn't have a mean bone in her body, and you know, true to her nature, this particular incident, from the information that I have, she's running out to help somebody that's been shot, and that was Danette. No regard for her own safety, she was just going to help.
Spokane police are still looking for the suspect Thursday, who is described as a black woman with short hair in her early 20s or early 30s. Kilmer said the family is devastated by this tragedy.
It's shocking. It's not like someone that just passed away from an illness or something. It's shocking news to get, and you deal with it the best you can.
Now the family is bringing Danette's body back to Butte, where she will be laid to rest. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, John. Meanwhile, more interviews are underway in connection to the box of human remains discovered in a Missoula shed. Police say this week's interviews have not led to a suspect. The bones of 3 children under the age of 10 were discovered in late September in a shed behind a Missoula rental property. Missoula police did receive a call from authorities in Michigan that the remains could be that of 3 boys missing from there since 2010. The remains were sent to the University of North Texas for analysis. It could take up to 6 months for DNA test results to be completed. The Blackfeet Tribal Business Council now offering a reward for information about a missing Browning woman. Ashley Loring Heavy Runner disappeared over 6 months ago. She was last seen on the Blackfeet Reservation. Heavy Runner's sister recently organized a walk in Babb where participants went door to door looking for information about the missing woman. A $5,000 reward is now being offered by the Business Council, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs offering a $1,000 reward for information. Federal data shows more than 500,000 Americans are homeless and hundreds die from the harsh cold of winter each year. Thursday marked the longest night of the year, and a vigil was held in Missoula to honor those who did not survive the winter. MTN's Eric Clements reports.
On the night of the solstice, for the second year in a row, more than 50 Missoulians paid tribute to members of the homeless population who died of exposure, unable to escape Montana's harsh cold.
That's what brought everybody together, and you know, it is a cold night.
Teresa Williams is the director of Reaching Home, Missoula's 10-year plan to end homelessness. Now in its 5th year, Williams says remembrance is important, but preventing these deaths is critical.
We cannot allow people to be homeless on our streets. We need to have housing for everyone. These are humans. They are relatives. They're mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters.
The night of December 21st is the longest night of the year. And due to winter's bitter cold, it's one of the most dangerous for homeless people across the country. And in Missoula, candles burn for those lost. But the flames also symbolize hope. Hope that these tragedies will one day be a thing of the past. The first step toward ending homelessness, Williams believes, is erasing prejudices and looking toward underlying factors.
What's happening? What happened to them? Not just what's wrong with them. It's what happened. Homelessness is a traumatic experience. No one's going to choose that.
While we rest comfortably in our homes, Williams asks us all to think about what we can do to help ensure no one goes cold this winter. In Missoula, Eric Clements, MTN News.
Thank you, Eric. Still ahead on the noon news, a famous face of the pizza industry leaves the biz amid controversy with the NFL. We'll explain. First, this is a live look at the snowy conditions in Billings. Brett will have more on these blustery conditions in the Magic City and statewide when we return.